Yeah, if you're going to speak out in any form about anything, expect to have two sides to every argument. I don't think I thought that what Tony did was respectable, not respectful. But I mean, he has his style, and everybody knows that. And you either don't like him for it, or you like him for it. And me and him have stayed pretty good friends throughout our time in the sport. And he did feel strongly about it. And the thing that was great about that is he backed it up throughout the week. He never changed his tone. He even had Mike on his radio show. He was very serious about it. It wasn't just him sounding off after the event. He had conviction in his stance throughout. So that was good for Tony, and the best way he could have played that. And for him to have quit talking or not said anything the rest of the week, it would have all his argument would have lost its energy. But there can be leaders in this sport, and I think the drivers have a certain amount of respect for different guys. Obviously, we're losing one this weekend with Dale Jarrett. I thought the best thing that happened with Tony's deal and the best support he got was from Dale. And Dale rarely, really gets in the middle of those type of things. He felt strongly about the racing back for the caution thing when that happened to him at New Hampshire. And I think that he was a big reason why those rules were put into place, because of how strongly he, kind of spoke up, and he went to the right people and said the right thing with conviction. And I think those are the guys. Tony's definitely a guy that, whether they'll admit it or not, people do listen to. And Dale Jarrett's another one. Bobby Labonte's one. He goes to most of the Goodyear tire tests because of his reputation as a leader, and as a guy who knows what he's doing, and a guy who can get it figured out. So there's a lot of trust built up in that over the years. But you have to have a certain mentality and a certain personality to garner that type of respect, like my father had, and for people to observe you in that manner. And with the way the sport is these days, and it's tougher to find those kind of guys. But it tends to be the veterans. It tends to be the Dale Jarretts. Bill Elliott, a lot of people would have listened to his opinion if he would have cared to have spoke about it. He was, you got to decide to do that too, and he was one that wanted to just bow out gracefully and go do his thing, and he always went and did his thing his own way. And he had a lot of opinions, but he just wasn't wanting to share them. So
if you have a conviction, a strong feeling, or a strong conviction about something, and you sit down and think about it, is this worth the fight, or should I pick this battle? Was it to that one?
Well, a lot of times you've picked the battle before you think about it. And, you just – I felt as bad as Tony did about the tires, whether it was gusto or whatever, I don't know. But I just couldn't bring myself to be as vocal as he was about it. And maybe because I know what the backlash is going to be. But it was a deal back in 02, 03, maybe before that, where I was complaining quite a bit about the tires. Maybe not to the press, but over the radio and whatnot. And it got back to some of the Goodyear people, and they were upset about it. And what I was told, and whether there's any truth to it or not, I don't know. But what I was told is that if I couldn't be more correct about it politically, and I would have to pay for my tires. So that was something that DEI wasn't willing to do, and they asked me if I would clean it up a little bit. But we had an issue. We had a run there in early early in my career where the tires were really inconsistent, and I just couldn't keep my mouth shut about it. I was so upset with it. But they're way more consistent now. And I sincerely mean that. But it is what it is. What happened last week isn't. It is what Tony said it was. It is what it is. We all saw it happen, and we all know exactly what happened, and there's no question as to what we need to do, and that is we need to if it costs a little bit more money to put a more a tire that's as durable but yet has a little more grip, then we need to try to do that. We really need to try to do that, and we need to try to find a way. If we're Goodyear, we need to try to find a way in our mind to convince ourselves that that's the right thing to do. Because they have a lot of tires to use, and I'm sure that it seemed like a good idea at the time to take that certain tire. But we see now that maybe we should have explored other options.